So what we got? Something rather nasty has been stolen. We have to stop that getting onto the open market. Who's the buyer? Greg Simmons, the billionaire arms dealer.
Oh, a lot of very serious faces up here, aren't there?
You can't catch this fish with conventional lures. I'm sorry? The lure being? Danny Francesco. The movie star. Greg Simmons' favourite movie star.
And how do we get him?
Blackmail. Who's to care? Very good. Carry on. The world needs you for your greatest role yet. Who are you? I'm your new manager. There's a sensitive and awkward situation between you and your sister-in-law.
I actually love my sister-in-law.
It's Danny. You made that quite evident.
When marimba rhythms start to play.
No need to be nervous.
No reason to be nervous. They're all the killers.
You're an actor. Act.
Aloha. This is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, guess you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad, the Island Man, your Island Man. And yesterday, Saturday, what was that? March 4th, I went ahead and saw the new Guy Ritchie directed movie called Operation Fortune, Rise of Guru, Rise of Gurera. But for ease of saying, we'll just say this was Operation Fortune. Well, and remember our rating scale. Shock a thumbs up, it's good to see, I recommend it. Shock a thumbs down, it's junk, I don't recommend it. And for this Guy Ritchie directed new action kind of comedy, I guess, starring, of course, great action star Jason Statham and pretty much newcomer to the movies Aubrey Plaza, best known from her TV roles. And also the extra special Emily the Criminal on Netflix. Operation Fortune is overall a shock a thumbs down. This movie had such potential. I mean, here we know Jason Statham is a known commodity, for action movies. Everything from The Transporter to, his last, movie with The Rock, to his work in the Fast and Furious movies, which he's going to be in Fast 10, surprisingly. Not to mention, all of his other ones. I mean, even what was that one spy movie that he did with not Jenny McCartney, but something McCartney. Oh, Melissa McCartney. He was exceptionally funny in that, So we know he can do humor. We know he can do action. And Aubrey Plaza, her quirkiness, and one-liners and wittiness is a staple on a lot of comedy TV shows where she's been, but also surprisingly, she can do drama and action, as we have seen in the latest Emily the Criminal movie on Netflix. So a chance to see her continue in the action genre, along with Statham playing off maybe a more stoic Statham as he usually is, giving his one-line quips to her strangeness, looked very exciting. And of course, this looked as if it was another kind of, unofficial continuation of, say, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. kind of scenario, or a Mission Impossible. A team of elites are placed together for some type of quote-unquote impossible mission for their government. I guess it seems to be the British government in this case. But what happens is, and why this is a shock a thumbs down, is that there's very little action in this movie. Something that we know Jason Statham excels at, and what everybody's expecting for and from a Jason Statham movie. And again, like I say, you know, Aubrey Plaza, you know, a chance to, you know, we've seen her do action amazingly enough in Emily the Criminal, and I liked what I saw. That was a wonderful branch for her, and I thought maybe, okay, continuation of that, along with her quirkiness, could really, really go down great. But what we normally get from a Jason Statham movie is his stoicness, his action-oriented fight scenes, etc., and a couple of quirky, you know, quippy one-liners here and there that really, you know, kind of counterpoints his action points and his seriousness. You know, kind of a tee-hee and ha-ha after the, you know, the punches that we've grown accustomed to. Basically, he has very few of those quirky one-liners or, you know, quips in this movie, with maybe, I guess, Guy Ritchie, the director, choosing to give those to who would normally give those from her previous previous television work, to Aubrey Plaza, which doesn't quite work. Because we know that she's going to give these quirky one-liners, and we want to see how those one-liners, you know, her quips go against Jason Statham's quips, because we know they're not going to fight one another, because they're, you know, in the trailers you see them on the same team. It would have been interesting to see Aubrey Plaza maybe as the main villain or villainess in this movie. That might have been an exceptional, you know, interesting face-off, because we know that, you know, Aubrey Plaza can play kind of a unhinged, mad-ridden woman. And to see how Jason Statham could have handled that would have been very, very interesting. But we don't get that. We get a play-by-play, Mission Impossible-like scenario. The team put together, Jason Statham basically playing the, you know, Tom Cruise, head of the Mission Impossible team, but his handler putting together the rest of the team. We have Aubrey Plaza in the stereotypical woman role as the quasi-femme fatale that she becomes, and then also mainly the computer and tech gal, nerd gal, and her one-liners with the tech quips and stuff just fall on, it just falls flat. I won't even say deaf ears, because you're really trying to listen for that quippiness that we're so used to, that cutting, you know, edges that she does so well normally. And it's just, you know, whether it's the writing from the jokes, if they had come from Statham, maybe they would have worked, because we're not expecting that from, you know, the AKA action hero so much, you know. But, you know, to put Aubrey Plaza, especially to put her in just the tech / femme fatale role, to play those kinds of characters, yes, it's great that she's getting more movie roles, but, you know, what we had just seen, it's like Guy Ritchie didn't even look at her resume and say, oh, you know, people really like this Emily the Criminal. We should have her do a lot more action in this movie. And I think that would have elevated this movie much, much higher. Maybe, possibly even made it passable. But, like I said, surprisingly enough, for a Guy Ritchie movie, for a Jason Statham movie, for a quasi-Mission Impossible movie, this has very, very little action in it overall. When compared to, you know, what it's trying to duplicate, the Mission Impossible movies. Now, of course, they don't have the budget that Tom Cruise can bring in, nor, you know, the special effects prowess that he's known for. But Jason Statham, we know he can do action. He could choreograph his own action scenes. The fight scenes alone, what he's best known for, are very, very small in this movie. So I guess maybe that's maybe a rationale as to why they did not do Aubrey Plaza doing much action, because there just wasn't much action in this movie to begin with, which is weird for a quasi-international spy-like organization trying to save the world. And that's essentially where it falls flat at. How can I describe this movie? Like I said, it's basically a Mission Impossible, Man from U.N.C.L.E., spy organization, team, rip-off kind of a movie slash, but they throw in some elements of the overwhelming weight of massive talent with Nicolas Cage, whereas to infiltrate this organization, or this bad guy who had stolen this secret thing from the government that must be found, they decide to use this actor, this famous actor, to, in the movies, in this movie, in this movie world, this famous actor that this bad guy really loves, to infiltrate his organization, basically get him invited to his private, compound, and have access to his grounds, along with Aubrey Plaza, aka the femme fatale, as his girlfriend, so that she can slip in and hack his computer so that Jason Statham can get the information of who he's selling this secret item to, and thus stop it before the world collapses, apparently. It's just so much that we've seen before, done so formulaically, with unfunny jokes, and again, just not enough action where there should have been. The fight scenes, there were a couple of fight scenes. There are some gunplay scenes. At the end of the movie, there are some, explosions that are tried to be made epic. I mean, the explosions look real and they look decent, but it's like, it just, yeah, okay. Cue the explosion, cue the gunfight scene, the helicopter chase scene. We've seen it all before, and usually it is Jason Statham's martial art prowess that makes these movies kind of passable, along with his one-liners here and there. But when you're giving them to Aubrey Plaza, who's not involved in the action, that's just quipping from the sidelines over the comms or whatever, it just really, really falls short, and makes this kind of honestly quite boring to watch. So no, I would say definitely a shock of thumbs down for Operation Fortune, The Rise of Gurara. It is obvious that Guy Ritchie, Jason Statham, maybe Aubrey Plaza, was hoping that this movie would do well and maybe spark a franchise. I think this movie will do okay on streaming. It won't do great on streaming, but this is the kind of movie, I hate to say it, that you would expect to go straight to Netflix, for a weekend, and it would probably get, decent views on Netflix. But as far as a movie theater experience, shock a thumbs down all the way. Don't waste your money. Just wait till it goes to streaming, which it should go very, very soon. And don't expect any more of this franchise or the Operation Fortune franchise to take off, because it's not going to happen. I really, really think this would have made a much better streaming series on Netflix, on Amazon. An hour action / comedy adventure kind of Mission Impossible team than trying to spark it off, in the movie theaters and trying to just capture that Mission Impossible vibe that is coming shortly here with the actual Tom Cruise and the actual Mission Impossible team than this cheesy ripoff Operation Fortune. Yeah, definitely a shock of thumbs down. Just skip it. Maybe if you're interested, check it out on streaming later on. All right, mahalo and aloha.